Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope that October was amazing for you guys, and I hope that the start of November is off to a great start. I'm a little bit late with my October favorites. I usually try to get my favorites videos up by the end of the month, but the end of the month just flew by so quickly. Honestly, I had a lot of fun in October. We did a lot of fun fall-related things. I got to upload a ton of videos for you guys, which was so much fun, and I apologize about the end of October. If you guys were like reading the comments in one of my videos, I think I mentioned that honestly, I've just been struggling with anxiety. I just wish it wasn't something that any of us had to deal with, and honestly, I haven't struggled with it for a really long time. It used to be something that I really struggled with when I was in like my early 20s when we first got married, and it hadn't been a problem lately until like out of nowhere it just hit me. So I feel like I fell behind in everything from like YouTube to my other commitments to my house, and I'm finally like getting back on track, which is good. Thank you for all of your kind comments. Honestly, you guys are so nice to me, so much nicer to me than I honestly deserve, and I appreciate all of you every single day. I am going to be uploading again every single Monday through Friday unless something comes up during the months of November and December. I had so much fun in October, and it really like pushed me to come up with new content and just kind of connect with you guys even more, and I loved it. So I'm planning on doing the same thing. I might miss like a day or two here and there, but in general, I'll have a new video for you guys every Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you guys have been around my channel, you might know that my favorite foundation is the Hourglass Spanish Seamless Stick Foundation, or at least it has been for the past 2 or 3 months. But I will say that I tried a new foundation this month that I've really been enjoying. I don't think it's replaced the Hourglass foundation, especially as we're headed into like later fall and winter. I definitely think that's going to be my go-to foundation, but I really enjoy the formula of this one. I kind of wish I tried it earlier when the weather was really warm, because I think it would have been a little bit more ideal then. But it is the Milk Makeup Blur Liquid Matte Foundation, and I've really been enjoying it. The first time that I actually tried it, I kind of wrote it off before I even applied it to my skin, because I put a little bit on the back of my hand and it was really runny, really liquidy, so I kind of felt like it wasn't going to give me enough coverage. I'm used to like the Urban Decay All Nighter, where it's a really thick foundation and it feels really heavy on the skin, but it gives me really good coverage. So I applied it and I was honestly blown away by the coverage. I would say it's more of like a medium to full coverage foundation. It feels really lightweight when you apply it, but once it's on the skin, you can't even feel it. I will say it doesn't last as long as the Urban Decay All Nighter, and my skin gets a little bit more oily throughout the day, but it might be an okay trade-off for how comfortable it feels on the skin. Another product from Milk Makeup that I've been loving a lot lately is their lip color in the shade Creme. This color is so beautiful. I wore it in my Ipsy unboxing, and it's just the perfect everyday go-to pink nude. These kind of look like lip crayons, and I'm not generally the biggest fan of lip crayons, but they feel more like a matte lipstick when you apply them. Here's what the color looks like. I think it's just really flattering, and it's a little bit different than your typical nude because it has a lot of pink undertones to it. It's really comfortable to wear on the lips. I feel like it stays in place really nicely, but you still get a like somewhat, I want to say matte finish, but it's almost like a little bit like a satin. It's like a demi matte finish. It looks really beautiful and natural on the lips, so it stays in place really well without drying them out. So Wet n Wild came out with a holiday brush set. It's available at Walgreens for $30. I did a review on it, which I'll link in the description box below if you guys are interested. But the brushes themselves are beautiful, which is the reason why I was kind of intrigued by them, because they look gorgeous, but they are so high quality. I've honestly been reaching for these brushes over pretty much any of the brushes in my collection lately. They're synthetic brushes, and Wet n Wild is of course cruelty-free, so these might be a great option for you. The nice part about these brushes is that they're synthetic hairs that are meant to mimic natural bristles. So they kind of feel like natural bristles. Sometimes synthetic bristles can feel a little bit plasticky, a little hard and scratchy. These are so soft, and honestly they blend the product out so beautifully. Whether it's like your bronzer or your eyeshadow or your blush, they just work extremely well. The more I use them, the more like blown away by the quality I am. And Wet n Wild's actually releasing them as individual brushes, which is great, but they're going to be a lot more expensive. You can get the entire set for $30, so it works out to $3 a brush, which is so inexpensive, but I think a lot of them are going to retail for like $6 to $8. They are going to come with like rose gold handles, which I think is a fun touch, and I will grab a few more of them just because like I use this bronzer brush every single day, and I would love to have another one for like a blush brush and another one for a powder brush. But if you can get the entire set for $30, these are really like just as cute, but it's going to be so much more affordable for you. Plus, once they release them as singles, I have a feeling they're going to sell out so quickly because they are such high quality. So I definitely recommend checking them out. I think they are some of the best brushes that I've tried in a really long time, drugstore or otherwise, and they're super, super affordable. Let's talk about a few eyeshadow palettes. So the first one that I've been loving is the ColourPop My Little Pony eyeshadow palette. I did film a review on this as well as like a demo or a get ready with me using it. If you guys want to check those out, I'll link them in the description box below. But this palette is so much fun. Honestly, I love the ColourPop Pressed Powder Shadow Palettes, and I think if you were to grab any of them, you'd be happy with your choice. But I think that this one is a fun option if you want a colorful palette. And honestly, I think it makes color a little bit more wearable, a little bit more approachable. I think the colors in this palette are really gorgeous and fun and bright, but you can also mix them with neutrals for more of a toned down look if you want as well. I've been wearing this purple shade so much that I'm sure I'm going to hit pan on it sooner than later. I've been using this white to highlight my inner corner. I've been using the mattes, and I think that this bottom row is going to be so much fun for like an icy look during the winter time, and I just can't get enough of it. I think if you want something a little bit different in your collection, this is a great option for you. The quality is there. I think it's a high quality palette for sure, but the colors are a little bit more unique. They're a little bit different, so if you're looking for something fun, I would recommend grabbing this one for sure. Another palette that I've really been loving is the NYX Cosmetics Ultimate Multi-Finish Shadow Palette. This one is in Smokescreen, and I've talked about these so much on my channel that you're probably sick of hearing about them, but the Smokescreen palette has been my favorite lately. If you guys haven't heard of these palettes, they come with 4 different colors, but each color comes in 3 different finishes. So you get a matte row, a shimmer row, and a glitter row. All 3 of these finishes are very high quality. The matte shadows blend beautifully onto the eyes. The shimmer shadows are very smooth and pigmented, and the glitter shadows are really high quality. I think a lot of glitter shadows are like a complete miss, but these are really gorgeous all over the eyes. And the last palette that I want to talk about is from Urban Decay, and it is their holiday palette. So this one is the Heavy Metals palette. I did film a review on this on my channel. If you guys want to check it out, again, I'll link it in the description box below. I feel like I've said that a million times in this video. But this palette is everything that I hoped it would be. So the outer packaging is really fun. I talked about this in my review video, but I know a lot of people are not fans of the packaging. I honestly think it's kind of fun. I mean, I won't lie, it's kind of a pain because it doesn't really fit in my vanity. I have to store it on top of my vanity, which isn't ideal, but I totally think it's worth it. So it comes with 20 different shadows. A bunch of them are colorful, a bunch of them are on the more neutral side, but they're all in a metallic finish. There's only one miss in this entire palette, and that is the shade Angel Fire right here. It's just a little bit chunky for me. It doesn't really work that well, but all of the other colors are so beautiful. I've been reaching for the colorful shades more so than the neutral shades, which is kind of funny. I'm kind of like on a color kick as I'm wearing neutrals on the eyes today, but in general, I wear a lot of color on my eyes. I just think it's a really fun, easy way to do like a colorful smoky eye is just to take a matte shadow from like this NYX palette and then take one of these and blend it all over the lid. But I also think the neutral colors are really beautiful, especially if you pair it with like a really fun warm palette like Urban Decay's Naked Heat or the Anastasia Modern Renaissance. So I've been loving it. I totally think it's worth the money. I think you would not regret it at all. I've been wearing the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in the shade Honeydude a lot lately, so I just apply this nude shade all over the waterline and I love it. A lot of times I'll go in with like a metallic shade or, you know, like just like a brown, and I feel like sometimes that can look a little bit heavy on the lower lash line, and I've just been going for a little bit of a lighter look lately, maybe because I've been wearing a lot of colorful shades, I don't know why, but I've been loving this one a lot. If you haven't tried their cream gel liners, I definitely recommend checking them out. I think they're like $5. I like them because they are retractable. I will say that if you roll too much up, they have a tendency to break off, but just be really careful and they'll be fine. I really like the metallic ones as well. If you're looking for kind of like a pop on the lower lash line or on the waterline, those are great. But if you're looking for a good nude, I would recommend Honeydude. Before this, I was using a Rimmel pencil, but Rimmel is not cruelty-free. So if you're looking for a good cruelty-free option, definitely check out ColourPop. Okay, finishing up, let me mention a bronzer and 2 blushes. So let me start with the blushes. The first one is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush in the shade Dim Infusion. So if you guys have been watching my everyday makeup drawer videos, you might have heard me mention that I wasn't sure about these Hourglass blushes. I spent the money on them and I was a little bit hesitant because they are expensive. And I just felt like they were very subtle, which is funny because I really like subtle blushes, but I don't know what I was expecting. But the more that I use them, the more that I honestly love them so much. Dim Infusion is just this really beautiful peachy coral, but when you apply it to your cheeks, I think I said in a previous video, it makes them look magical. It has like these magical properties to it and just makes your skin look so beautiful and luminous, but in a natural way, not in like a super glowy highlighted way, just like a glowing from within way. So this shade in particular is very subtle, but very pretty all over the cheeks. So a lot of times when I'm going, I just lost my train of thought. A lot of times I'll go in with like bronzer and then skip contour and just apply this blush and skip highlight. And I feel like it looks really natural on the skin. It looks really gorgeous and glowy. And I think that this is one of my favorite blushes of all time. I can't stop using it. So I am tempted to try more Hourglass products. I think they're so expensive though. So I'm just kind of on the fence about them, which is stupid because every time I try an Hourglass product, I love it. I love their foundation. I love their primer. And now I love their blushes. So I need to try more of them. If you guys have any recommendations, let me know in the comments below which ones I should check out, especially like blushes or bronzers or face powders because I can't get enough of this one. The other blush that I've been loving is from Tarte Cosmetics. This one is their Amazonian Clay 12-hour blush in the shade Party. This one's just like a mini deluxe size that I got as part of, I think, like a Sephora birthday gift, but this color is very beautiful. It's definitely not as subtle as the Hourglass blush, but when I want something with a little bit more color, I'll reach for this one. It's just like the perfect peachy pink nude. It's a little bit warmer and a little bit brighter than Exposed. Exposed is one of my favorite blushes of all time, but when I want something a little brighter, I'll reach for Party, and it's gorgeous. I really love the Tarte Amazonian Clay blushes just because they stay in place really well on my oily skin, and I feel like a lot of other blushes wear off by the end of the day, but I honestly feel like this formula stays in place. It looks really vibrant and beautiful, and I just really like them. So I would definitely recommend grabbing this one. If I ever finish this one up, I will definitely repurchase the full size. And my last favorite is a bronzer from Becca Cosmetics. I've been talking about this a lot on my channel, but it is their Sunlit bronzer in the shade Capri Coast. I have been using this every single day. Every single day. I don't think I've touched my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. Obviously, it's Becca Cosmetics, so it's a little bit more expensive than the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, but it is so good. It's so blendable and smooth and beautiful on the skin. I've been applying it with the Wet n Wild powder brush, and these two together are like perfection. It just gives your skin a really beautiful natural warmth, and it's not like a flat matte powder, but it's not a satin powder. It's just like the perfect all-around bronzer. I'm sure I'll completely finish this up and then I will repurchase it. I actually got sent this one through Octoly, so I did receive it as PR, but the second I use up this bronzer, I'm going to go out and spend my money on it because it is so beautiful on the skin. I would recommend checking these out. I think they have like 5 or 6 shades. This one is the second to lightest shade, so if you have a lighter skin tone than me, you could even go a little bit lighter, but I just think it's a beautiful formula. Okay guys, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you leave me a comment below letting me know which products you've been loving throughout the month of October so I can check them out if I haven't already. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.